Hi. So, we talked. And when I say talk, I mean we really talked. There were a lot of things that I needed to get off my chest. I needed to find out. And, just like every single thing in my life, just didn't go the way I planned. And I have to sit here and still deal with the consequences of it. I mean, basically, I was with him and we parked somewhere, and I mean, it was fine at first. Like, he asked me how I'd been, like what I'd been up to, and just casual like conversation, and then finally we just kind of got into stuff. And, I had asked him, you know, did he miss me? And he said yeah. Well, I mean, he said kinda. Which to me means, well, yeah. And then, excuse me. And then I asked him, do you understand why I did this? And why this all happened? And he was like, yeah, I understand. And I asked him, do you understand how hurt I am? And he said, yeah, like, he knew, but, I mean, he never really did anything about it, and I don't know, it was just starting to get really uncomfortable, and then I don't know, now it just seems like a blur to me. Like, there were, like, key points that I remember, but there's also stuff that I, like, don't remember at all. Like, we talked about, how he lied to me. Like, I told him that I felt like he just wanted to push me away, and he was telling me about how he didn't want to be an asshole to me, and like, and in reality he was. And I felt like he was, and just everything was just bad. And I had told him that, it came to a point where I can't even look at him, like now, it's like I can't look at him without just feeling, like, physical pain. And it hurts. And I told him it takes every little ounce of strength for me to even stay in that room. Because it's hard. And I miss him so much. And, we had gotten to the whole thing about how you can't change someone's sexuality, and, like, I said that I never wanted to do that, and he was like, I'm sure that you already, like, went into it thinking that I was bisexual, and I mean, yeah, I did, because I was sure that there was something there. And then he just kind of took everything, and he never really, like, he didn't have anything in response, and he doesn't really emote, he doesn't really, like, project any emotion when things like this are going on, and it just makes me feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. And And so then, you know, I told him, I was like, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall, and he's like, well, you and everybody else who talks to me like that. And I was like, why can't you just tell me how you feel? Like, why can't I be, like, the one that you just finally just tell me how you feel? And he's like, well, if I tell you, you're gonna think I'm an asshole. And so I was just like, I said his name, sorry, edit that out. I told him, I was like, you know, just tell me what you're feeling. And he said, well, honestly, I think this is all just kind of really funny. And then I started to get really mad. And I said, funny? You think it's funny that you know, led me on, you messed with my feelings, you were an asshole to me? How does that make sense? I don't understand what's so funny about it. It boggles my mind. It's irritating. And it hurts. Because every single moment I'm trying my hardest to just fall out of love with him, but I can't. Like, I don't know what is wrong with me. Like, I just can't. And I had asked him, I was like, you know, were you an asshole to me because you wanted me to stop liking you? Like, because you were an asshole to me because you wanted me to stop liking you. So you thought that this would be a good way to get me to stop. And he said no. But he said, whatever it takes to help you stop liking me, you know, do it. I mean, not in those words, but, you know, that's how he worded it, I guess. Like, that's how it sounded. And it's hard when you constantly have to be faced with the same dilemma of telling somebody you care about them when they don't care about you the way that you care about them. That's all I've ever really known. That's all that's ever really happened to me. And it sucks that this is the way that it had to be. I've never had something like this happen. And I mean, you know, you heard in my last vlog about the thing that we did that he slept through. And I told him, I said, look, you're not a superhuman. Nobody can sleep through that. There's no way you can sleep through that. And all he said was, I can't explain it. I just can't. And he's so stuck on that idea, on that lie, and I know it's a lie. I know for a fact that it is a bull-faced lie. Because you can't. Either you liked it or you didn't. Because there's no way that you can be asleep. And then he did a lot of like comparisons. Like, he would compare this person with me and like this person with him, and he just go off on these little like tangents that made absolutely no sense. And I just didn't understand. Like, if I felt like he was really trying to like prove a point so much to the point where he had to go on and on and on about something that proves this point. And honestly, it was just like, I get it. Like, you don't have to go on and on and on and on about something that I really don't care about hearing. And he went on and on about having gay friends, like, all his life. And he started talking about the gay friends he had when he was in elementary school, when he was young, and all this stuff. And I was just kind of like, well, what does this have to do with what's going on here? Like, you know, it came to the point where I was just like, you know, he had talked about, you know, when he had fallen asleep during what we did, he was like, well, my dad is a light sleeper, sometimes he's a heavy sleeper, sometimes I'll walk into his room and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then I just was so sick of it to the point where I was just like, well, I'm not talking about your dad. I'm talking about you. This is what we're talking about here. And I don't think you get that. And I said, you know, you're making all these comparisons, and it has nothing to do, it's completely irrelevant. Like, I don't understand. And, like, it was so confusing, and I feel like I never really got any of my questions answered. I mean, I got a majority of them answered, but, you know, obviously it wasn't what I wanted to hear. And, you know, he apologized to me for everything he did to me, which apparently he rarely does, and I believe it. Knowing him, I believe it. Which, you know, I was really happy to hear an apology from him, but I would rather have what I really wanted. Because that's not what I was wanting. Apology, you can apologize all you want. But that's not what I'm gonna want in the end. And, like, I told him about how I felt like I was part of a list of girls, and I gave him some examples of who he's, you know, fucked over, and I was friends with him when he fucked over one of these girls, and I told him, I was like, you know, when I was with you during that, like, I always told myself I never want to be treated like that from a guy. Never, 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 never want to be treated like I was so special at one moment and then completely turned to shit the next. And that happened. And I let myself let that happen. And I told him, I was like, you know, I never wanted to be treated like this. And I just didn't understand why he had to lie to me about all this stuff, and to make me jealous and stuff. And he said that he likes to joke around, and that's how he likes to joke around, and I just don't understand how you can joke about that. You're hurting people's feelings. And, like, I told him, I was like, I would never, ever do that to you. And he's like, well, I guess I'm an asshole. I'm like, you were, like, why were you an asshole? He's like, well, I mean, I'm not saying I was, I'm saying I am because of all of this. He's like, I'm saying that I wasn't an asshole to you, or I wasn't trying to be an asshole to you. I am now because of all of this. And the thing is like, you know, I hate when people, like, back down so easily. Like, I would rather have him put up a fight and, like, and not just give up so easily like that. Like, you know, I hate when people just go for the, you know, oh, okay, well, I'm an asshole then. Whatever. You win. Like, no. Like, tell me why you're not an asshole. Prove to me that you are a great guy. And that I'm in the wrong here. And, you know, he's just so passive, and he just let everything, like, I mean, I guess he does listen to what I say. But he doesn't respond to it. And I don't know why. I don't know why he holds in so much, and I hate it. Because I never know what he's thinking. And it sucks because I really don't deserve this guy. But I love him. And the worst part is that he told me that the only way he would love me is like a brother. The closest I would ever be to him is a brother, like a brother. And just hearing that, like, really, it just hurts. Like, that's not what you want to hear from somebody that, you know, that you have such deep feelings for. I've been hurt so many times, and yet I still keep coming back. I just don't understand why I can't let myself just let go. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I just don't understand why I can't let you go, and I told him I didn't know how we were ever, you know, how we can still be friends, because all I'm ever going to want is more. And he said, you know, when you find someone that replaces me the way it replaced this other person that I had a crush on who was very mean, then maybe you can think of me in a different light. And the thing is, it's like I don't wanna hate him. I really don't want to hate him. But it's getting to that point where it's too much lies, too much drama, too much heartache that I can't even deal with. And it hurts more than anything. Because it sticks with you. And he even told me that he could easily drop out of the play. And the thing is I don't want him to. I mean, part of me wants him to. But another part is like telling me that I miss him too much and I'd just be miserable, and I don't want to be the reason why he leaves. And he told me that he can make up excuses and stuff like that, and still, you can make up all the excuses you want, but I'm still going to be the reason why you're leaving. And I don't want him to do that. I'm so torn and I'm so confused, and I just don't understand why I'm going through this and why life just can't be just a little bit easier. Like, can I just catch a break? Like, can't I just have one guy? Just one. One that actually cares. One that actually puts me first, and and cares about my feelings. Sprinklers are really ruining the moment right now. That's awesome. Great. Oh god, I feel like I'm gonna have to talk louder. Did they really have to do that now? God, I'm trying to make a video. But, I really had nothing else to say to him at that time. I'd said everything I needed to say. He obviously had a friend waiting for him, and I just was like, you know, it's fine. You don't have to stay an extra 5-10 minutes just to hear me complain and to hear me, you know, and for me to just not get my way, to not get what I want. And the hardest part is that he's not stuck with the pain. He gets to move on, and he gets to do all this stuff, and I'm still here. Still hurting. Still with all the heartache, and longing, and just wanting to be with him, and every time I see him, it makes me so mad, because he is still so content. And I am so not. I don't want it to be over, but I do. I don't want the heartache to be over, but I don't want to lose him. I can't be his friend. There's no way. It just hurts too much. I'm so stuck. I'm stuck in the middle of this, and I mean, I don't want to just go from being, like, you know, talkative with him during those 2 rehearsals to not saying anything at all. I can't go back to that. But I also can't. I can't be friends with him. It just hurts. And I don't want to drop out of the play. I mean, I have a good part, and I don't want to, you know, risk that. Because then what will I have to do? I just need to, like, I mean, there's no way that I can, like, cry about it, especially on camera. There's no way. I mean, I don't usually cry unless somebody says something to me that really pulls at my heartstrings and really, like, hits a nerve. I mean, I can get teary-eyed all I want, but really, nothing sends it over the edge like somebody saying something that really, really means it. Like, spot on. It means everything, like, that I'm feeling. Like, to know that somebody knows exactly what I'm feeling. It really just sends me over the edge, and I don't know. Well, that's really all that happened, and there was a lot of other details, mostly that I can't remember, but, I mean, if I ever do remember them, I'll probably mention them here and there in a vlog, so I guess I should probably go to bed. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have work tomorrow, so should be an interesting day at work tomorrow. I'll let you know what happens. Good night.